The pre-launch price survey. How to test 3 prices before you've sold a single unit. The cheapest, fastest price test happens before checkout even exists. Inside a 4-question survey to your waitlist. Most creators price their first product by feel, then spend the next 6 months quietly wondering if they left money on the table or scared off half their audience. There's a better order of operations. Ask before you build the checkout, not after. A short survey sent to the people already waiting for your product. Your email list, your waitlist, your DMs can hand you a defensible launch price backed by real signal, days before a single dollar changes hands. No split testing infrastructure, no analytics dashboard, no risking your only shot at a first impression price. Just 4 questions and a spreadsheet. Why survey before you sell? Post-launch pricing tests need traffic, patience, and enough sales volume for the difference between 2 prices to mean anything statistically. Most creators launching their first course, template pack, or coaching offer don't have that luxury. They have 1 shot, 1 waitlist, and 1 launch email. Pricing wrong the first time doesn't just cost you revenue on day 1. It sets an anchor. Price too low, and your early buyers now expect that number forever, making a later price increase feel like a betrayal instead of a normal business decision. Price too high with no data behind it, and you'll second guess every purchase page refresh, wondering if silence means not interested or too expensive. A pre-launch survey sidesteps both problems. It's not a live pricing test. Nobody's paying anything yet, so there's no revenue at risk and no anchor being set publicly. It's closer to a focus group you can run in an afternoon using a form you already have the tools to build, sent to people who've already told you, by joining your list, that they want what you're making. The 4-question method. This is a simplified version of the Van Westendorp price sensitivity meter, a pricing research technique built in the 1970s and still one of the fastest ways to find a workable price band with a small sample. The original was designed for corporate market research teams. This version is designed for a creator with a waitlist and 20 minutes. You ask the same 4 questions about the exact same offer, described in 1 clear paragraph so nobody's answering a different mental product than everyone else. At what price would this be so cheap? You'd question the quality. Too cheap. At what price would this be a great deal? An easy yes? Cheap, good value. At what price would this start to feel expensive, but you'd still consider it? Expensive. At what price would this be so expensive you wouldn't buy it at all? Too expensive. 4 open number fields, 1 description of the offer above them, and nothing else. No multiple choice, no drop-down of preset prices. You want their own number, unprompted, because a drop-down anchors people toward whatever range you built into it. Keep the whole survey to under a minute to complete. A 5-page form with logic branches will kill your response rate before you get a usable sample. Describe the offer like a stranger has to understand it cold. Write the 1 paragraph above your 4 questions as if the reader has never heard of you. State exactly what's included, the format, PDF, video course, live call, membership, and roughly how much time or access it covers. Vague descriptions produce vague, useless number spreads. Who to send it to, and how many you actually need. This only works with a warm audience, people who've opted into your email list, joined a waitlist for the specific product, or engaged heavily with content that previewed it. Sending this to cold followers who've never heard of the offer will just produce noise, because they have no context for what they're pricing. If you don't have a list yet, that's the actual prerequisite step. Build a small lead magnet, collect even 50-100 emails, warm them up with a few posts about what you're building, then run the survey. You don't need hundreds of responses. 30 to 50 completed surveys from a genuinely interested list will give you a usable spread. 20 is workable in a pinch for a very niche audience. What matters more than raw count is that respondents are the actual people you'd sell to. Not friends being polite. not randoms who'll never buy anything from you regardless of price. Turning 4 numbers into one price. Once responses come in, don't average column by column and call it a day. Averages get skewed badly by one troll answer of $1 or one outlier of 5,000. Sort each column low to high and look at where the curves would cross if you plotted them, which for a spreadsheet-only version means eyeballing 2 rough zones. In practice, most creators land on a workable range rather than a single number. Say the marginal cheapness point sits around $27 and the marginal expensiveness point sits around $79 for a template pack. That's your band. Launching near the lower middle of that range, around $37 to $47 in this example, is the classic move for a first launch. It's comfortably inside good value territory for most of your list while still leaving room to raise the price later without it feeling like a bait and switch. The survey doesn't hand you a perfect number. It hands you a range you can defend, in writing, to yourself. The moment someone asks, "Why does it cost that much?" What the survey can't tell you. Stated intent and actual buying behavior aren't the same thing. Someone typing 40 feels like a great deal into a form isn't the same as that same person pulling out a card at checkout. Treat the output as a strong, informed starting point, not gospel. It's also worth remembering this method surveys people who already like you. It will not tell you how a cold audience finding you for the first time via an ad or a stranger's share would react, since that audience has none of the trust your list has already built. Write one plain language paragraph describing exactly what's included in the offer. Draft the 4 price questions with open number fields, no preset dropdown. Confirm your list is warm. People who've opted in or joined a waitlist for this specific thing. Set a target of at least 30 responses before you start analyzing. Decide your walkaway floor and ceiling before answers come in, so results don't just confirm a number you already wanted. Plan the launch price as a range, then pick the lower middle of that range for a first launch. From survey answer to a real, sellable price. A price on a spreadsheet is still just a number until it's attached to something a fan can actually buy. This is where the survey work has to convert into an actual product page. Create your store, set the price you landed on, and connect Stripe or add a PayPal email so Apple Pay and Google Pay work automatically at checkout. Whether you're selling a digital download, a cohort course, or one-on-one coaching calls, delivery is instant and automatic. The buyer gets their download link or meeting link on screen, and by email the moment payment clears, which matters a lot right after a launch when you don't want to be manually emailing files to 40 people at once. If you want to see how a finished storefront should look and feel once your price is locked in, a live example store is worth studying before you build your own product page. Cover photo, price placement, and the flow from click to checkout all matter as much as the number itself. And if you're weighing whether to launch on the free plan or jump straight to the pro plan for 0% platform fees on paid tiers, run that decision the same way you ran the price survey. Concretely, based on your expected volume, not a guess. One more thing worth doing after launch. Send a short follow-up campaign to the same list a week or 2 after they bought, asking how the price felt in hindsight now that they've actually paid and received the product. That answer, post-purchase, not hypothetical, is the real validation the pre-launch survey was standing in for, and it'll tell you whether to hold, raise, or adjust your packaging before the next cohort or restock. Pricing without data is a coin flip dressed up as confidence. A 4-question survey sent to the people already waiting for your product turns that coin flip into a range you chose on purpose, for reasons you can explain. And that's worth far more than a perfect number pulled from thin air. Run the survey, pick your band, and give store.fan the price that's actually been tested before a single sale ever happens. Key takeaways. A 4-question price survey. Too cheap, cheap, expensive, too expensive, too expensive. gives you a defensible price range before launch. This is a lightweight version of the Van Westendorp pricing method, built for a waitlist of 20 to 200 people. Not a market research firm, you need people who've already raised their hand. A waitlist, email list, or engaged followers, not cold traffic. The output isn't one perfect number. It's a price band you launch inside of with confidence. You still need a real store to convert that number into revenue. The survey just removes the guesswork from step 1. Start your creator store free at store.fan.